marriage as we do it today is not marriage anymore. I cannot fault men for being cautious. Some men just aren't going to get married because the laws are too favorable to women.
There was a time when marriage vows were taken fairly seriously, but now it's just a step in the process of legally defrauding men out of cash and assets. A date is either her way of getting a free meal or a job interview where she decides if you're worthy of a one-sided divorce. Looks, status, and money will get you some intimacy, but won't protect you from their sinister plans for you.
Says to men that what attention is to women.
Yeah.
Yeah?
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Okay, so would you argue that we cheat on men by having open Instagram accounts while in a relationship?
Wait.
I said, is sex to men what attention is to women? You all said yes. Please
Yeah.
don't change it now. So could we argue that we cheat by having open Instagram accounts while in a relationship?
No.
Posting first track.
Wow. You can
Having
do that.
the men like all the pictures.
But today's women just provide their beauty in exchange for what they desire, which is literally every good quality possible in a man. We have a serious issue when the overwhelming majority of young men are held to unrealistic standards by women. It's challenging to have trust in one's abilities right now.
If you want to keep a loyal wife, all you have to do is remind her she's loved. It's really simple and easy. You remind her she's loved, she won't seek it. But if you forget to give her that, she'll become desperate for it, unfortunately.
It makes perfect sense for men to stop dating in today's world. Women's expectations from men are essentially unattainable, but women only need to be attractive to be successful in the dating world. You're supposed to believe that social justice, equality, and other such nonsense prevail in today's world. That is not true. So let's stop the BS now.
You're 28 years old. You got with a guy that might have not been the best guy back when you were 21. You're getting older, you've seen the dating marketplace, and you realize that there's nothing out there for you and your son. So you're trying to make it work now. But when you had that FOMO 6 years ago, you didn't have that mindset. You thought you could do better. You thought, I'm gonna go find another guy, etc. It didn't pan out for you. Because here's the difference between men and women. You guys leave relationships thinking you can do better. 9 out of 10 times. Women only leave if they know they can monkey branch to something better. And you thought you could do something better. But now you realize you can't. You're 28 years old, epiphany phase is coming around, still not married, kid out of wedlock, he's getting older, men don't want to come in and take care of your fucking kid. You're waking up, right?
Men are tired of being rejected, doing the work, not having respectful women in their lives, being treated like disposable items, and the list goes on. Men are recognizing it is pointless to chase women. Instead, they should chase excellence and forge their own path. Even when they're interested, women want you to do all the work, which is exhausting and probably something you don't want to put up with anymore.
Social media is out to destroy men. It's no secret that men are visual creatures. And honestly, I see no problem with that. But the algorithms exploit this as a weakness to keep you on their platforms as long as possible. By only filling in your following tab with IG models, you're feeding into the exact system that's making men weak today. My guys, there's nothing wrong with having primal physical attraction to women, but use that primal desire to attract real girls in real life, to become the man that won't accept a girl at face value, and the man that women need to better themselves for. You have the ability to change your own algorithm, so engage with content that will actually serve you. Because at the end of the day, your presence on this earth is to fuel the betterment of society.
I have the impression that a significant portion of the problem is not simply that young men are flawed, but also that most of them soon adopt stereotypes of the ideal. And wherever there is a shortcoming, a weakness in character, or a warning sign, that is it. Women move on. He is no longer even worth their time.
Every man that I've ever been with has treated me like a princess. And when they didn't, I looked at them like, what's happening right now? I don't get it. I know I don't like it. So I'm gonna go. You know what I mean? Anything I asked for, any expectation I had, I was just like, this is how it's always happened for me. So why wouldn't it happen now? Unless you're different from everything that I've ever experienced. And if you're different from everything I've ever experienced, then either you're not a good fit or I'm obviously too good for you, or I just need to hurry up and get to the next guy who's going to give me what I've always been given.
You never see a woman in a long-term committed relationship give this type of advice. Because let's be honest, the women that demand princess treatment are never the ones that reciprocate that same energy. And they leave the second the man makes a mistake.
Women who demand the princess treatment never reciprocate that same energy. Golden words by Emily here. Let's be honest, before a young man reaches that stage, until he is shown to be innocent, there are already biased assumptions about him, such that he may be a predator, an emotional abuser, a weirdo, a creep, clumsy, too soft, too attached, didn't read the signs, a loser, etc. Or, like in this clip, he's supposed to treat a girl like a princess no matter how she treats him. Guys who tried dating had a hurdle to climb. For a chance, they had to overcome a lot of preconceived notions.
So if you didn't know, I'm a sex worker. I do OnlyFans for a living. And I just moved to a new state, so I'm trying to find a place to live. And yesterday, I went to go look at this house, and the guy was like, "Oh, what do you do for work?" And I was like, "Oh, I do social media." And he was like, "That's so cool," and started asking me a bunch of questions about it, like, "Oh, do you do brand deals?" I was like, "Yeah, I do brand deals." But after a while, I had to be like, "Hey, I'm sorry, I don't like talking about my work." He was like, "Oh, I'm so sorry. Can I ask why?" And I'm like, "Well, it's because I actually do OnlyFans."
If my daughter ever came to me and said that she was doing OnlyFans, I would disown her directly. That's how much I hate these. For $25.99, anyone can dip a peek under there.
Just being a good, hard-working man means nothing to them. You have to check all the boxes before you get the box, and that box isn't special anymore. Her body count is now sky high, and not all those victims were clean. The bottom line is to get out of the West just to experience how women in other cultures treat men. The perspective is amazing. You can be valued and treated well everywhere, but here.
I don't give a fuck what you think, you know? I don't care what you think about me. I had come from an environment with very little cheerleading going on. And so I created a sort of survival instinct where I would cut people out and minimize opinions. And the way that I would do that is I had to believe that my opinion was greater than everybody else's opinion around me.
Life is way better when your world doesn't revolve around women. Quit chasing it. Find what makes you actually happy. The typical chasing tail and willingly locking yourself out of fear of being independent is quite pathetic and not masculine at all. Have actual interests in life. This drive to pair up is a cultural weirdness.
Generally, this is the attitude when it comes to guys who earn less than 100k. And it's to do with social media, and it's to do with the male influencers as well, who promote having to have, $100 million just to get by. And it's just not the reality of things. Most men are out there working extremely hard, contributing to society and building things. I'm very lucky in the sense that I actually get to have a YouTube channel where I can earn a lot of money.
Okay,
If my YouTube channel goes away tomorrow like that, people will watch some other shit.
Yeah.
It doesn't even matter. But these guys, if they stop building the structure tomorrow, all of a sudden we've got half-built structures everywhere. All of a sudden you can't flush your toilet. All of a sudden you can't have electricity. And all of a sudden we can't have protection from the police. These are the people who literally build the world around you. And it's just like, I absolutely detest that notion of people laughing at people who work with their hands.
I'd say this for both genders, but it's understandable for women because they're weak by nature. For dudes to be so needy is pathetic and ultimately a huge weakness in life and also in the relationships that you do have. If you don't have any other interests in life, then you are just trying to pair up for security and fear. Be a better person and more complete human, and you will have power over this and you won't be desperate and needy. I do not advocate for a monk life, as I always keep all options open, but I do not go looking for it. If you are looking for it, you will try to compromise yourself out of desperation or try to bend the reality of who your mate actually is.
People don't tell women the truth these days. Men get told the truth all the time. Women have no problem telling a man, I don't want an average man. It happens every day on my show. TLC said they don't want no scrubs, and we have no problem telling average men, you ain't crap. But if I just happen to have the nerve to agree with the woman that says she's average, then I'm Satan.
True, there is no longer any point in having any long-term relationship with a woman. The financial risk of a wife or common law wife is too high, and having children is too risky due to the woman being able to take the child and live off child support. So if you want a kid, adopt one or use a surrogate mom.
Instagram or a long-term boyfriend? Pick one. Okay, let's see.
Instagram.
Okay.
What? Instagram.
Instagram? Okay. Instagram? Okay.
Oh, Judeanne's getting red pilled right now.
Okay. What about you?
Probably Instagram.
Detroit.
I probably already knew, but Instagram.
What the f-
I would say Instagram. I haven't met or found a man yet that can give me what Instagram has given me. So Instagram.
Whoa! Yeah, this is why this show is necessary. Do you see how all these girls are in a relationship with Instagram instead of a real man? They're addicted to attention instead of love.
Actually, yeah. And we wonder why divorce rates are skyrocketing and marriage rates are declining and men are overwhelmingly depressed. It's because of things like this. Somebody replied and said, "Who raised y'all? The internet?" Somebody else said, "It's fine, boys. They're weeding out the girls from the women for us. Girls love attention. Women value love." That's wholesome. It's also very real.
Women receive a lot of attention simply for sharing a few hot photos on Instagram, while regular men receive zero attention and are essentially invisible. There has been a lot of effort put into criticizing the unfair standards that are applied to women, but not as much to men. It's as if men just don't matter to society anymore. When things go tough, I see people justifying illogical standards for men.
Women use their Instagram as like their own little attention economy. If she does not reply to your DMs, then you don't follow her. And if you follow her and she doesn't follow you back, that's a big red flag. In addition to that, you do not comment on her photos unless you have piped her or you are within 1 or 2 dates. These girls will like take as much free attention as they can get, bro.
We are deliberately upholding the same chauvinistic norms for males while feigning an interest in this utopian, imaginary, egalitarian, and prosperous future. It appears that there are still these widely accepted and romanticized ideals for what a handsome man should be. In other words, a guy is devoid of emotions, flaws, and blunders. He is doing well financially. He is tall, attractive, and in excellent physical condition. He works with his hands in addition to having a degree. He is not just confident, as some claim, but also socially dominant. You see, it is unhealthy and impractical to have such expectations.
Men are most attracted to 2 things. 1, someone that believes in them.
Not trying to change them, not trying to fix them, not overgiving, not sacrificing herself or himself for him, but believes in him.
Believes in him,
yeah.
Believes in the way he brings light to the world, believe in his power and his good qualities, because men are so intrinsically insecure. We're so, there's so much that we're not even processing. There's the reason why 90% of my seminars are women. Women are naturally more spiritual and they're naturally working on themselves.
Yeah.
So men have a lot more negativity they bring to this world, so there's more insecurity. But when you believe in a man, then he has the power to draw that reality to get there. That's number 1.
It is best to save your limited energy for pursuing worthwhile objectives. If you're successful, they'll probably show up on their own. Just don't ever waste time trying to attract women. What do you expect will happen, even if a woman agrees after you chase her?
If you're a man or a woman and you're thinking about marriage and you're like, what am I going to get out of it? What am I going to get out of it? What am I going to get out of it? And that's kind of the preoccupation. Then I would say, yeah, maybe you shouldn't get married. Because if you go into marriage either as a man or a woman and it's all about what am I going to get out of this, then I think you're going to be disappointed.
Yeah, I think that's easy to say when you're the woman and you accumulate pretty much no risk in marriage. I think that's easy to say when you are the beneficiary.
Well, isn't that your point? Isn't part of your point though that men should, it sounds like your point is that men shouldn't get married because they don't get enough out of it, right?
I'd say it's a bad deal. Like if you want the babies that you say you want, are like, more people having kids, they're a gift, yada, yada. Well, then maybe conservatives should try to have a better answer for this question.
Rather than pursuing and expending energy, it would be more effective to just express interest. Cut your losses and keep looking if she doesn't respond in kind. Even if it may seem difficult, the best course of action is to avoid participating in all these psychological tricks and confusing signals. The majority of young men do not earn the kind of money that most women dream of. It's hard to live your own life while being on guard against losing someone's transitory interest who is deliberately seeking any conceivable red flag to give an excuse to ghost you.
And it's that mentality that over the years I've had to kind of work on because it's so destructive. You're almost predicting the problems because the thing is when you're insecure, you'd rather be right than be happy. Unfortunately. So you'd rather predict all the problems and say, you're going to do this to me, I'm going to go now, and self-sabotage, than just trust the process and accept you might be wrong. And you might be wrong. They might be perfect for me. Maybe you're the problem. So now over the years, I've learned that I'm often wrong. And it's good to know that.
I believe there is a propensity to downplay how harsh dating is for young men in today's society. Also, if I had $1 for every woman I met online who looked different in real life, I swear I would have enough money to buy a new iPhone. Most women you will come across online will have tweaked and edited images of themselves online, which will make them appear more appealing. Thanks for watching The Circle of Kings. As always, we're looking forward to your support, so please hit the like button, share this video with your friends, and subscribe to the channel to stay updated with everything all kings like yourself need to know.